In this video, I'm conducting an interview with my good friend John Druska. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. And with the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. Again, in this video, I'm conducting an interview with my good friend, John Druska. Welcome, John.
Hey, Alex. Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Great. Very good, very good. Thank you for asking. I'm very happy to have you. You live in the Los Angeles area like I do, and you're joining us from Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, up in the valley, the 818. But
Mhm. The 818, that's the
yeah.
area code. Where are you from originally? Did you grow up around here?
No, I grew up in the Chicagoland area.
Oh, okay.
I was born in Indiana, and then I lived in a small town in Ohio till I was about 9. But both my parents are from Chicago, so I'm, Chicago sports, Chicago
Ah, yeah.
White Sox, Bears, Blackhawks, Bulls.
Oh, very good, very good. And
Yeah.
how long have you been in Los Angeles?
Quite a while, almost 17 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What brought you out here? Not backgammon, was it?
No, no, I'll get to that. I'm an actor and a screenwriter.
Okay,
So I went to school for, theater and production and that sort of thing. And since I was about 14, I knew I was going to come out here and pursue that goal. So I'm working towards that.
that's great. This is the place for that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe New York, Chicago's a great theater town,
Right,
but
right.
I had dreams as a child of, being a movie star. And now that I've been here, I've gotten, TV credits and movies and a lot of commercials. So it's that type of storytelling that I'm drawn to.
That's good. And you're good on video
Oh, thanks.
in front of the camera.
Give it time. We just started.
Oh, we just oh yeah. Well, I have a lot of people that come and they're a little bit shy on camera, but it's not so bad. It's like having a conversation with your friend.
Sure.
Yeah. So great. I had the pleasure of first meeting you through the Encino Backgammon Club, which used to play on Sundays. So how did you first hear about that?
So I moved up here in the Encino vicinity about 2 years ago in July of 2022.
Mhm.
And it was October, I think. I took my bike out for a ride, and there's some nice parks. Lake Balboa Park is over
Right.
there and all that. And I was cruising home and almost home, and I was cutting down Burbank Boulevard, and I see this grass pasture with card tables set up and like 16 or 20 people playing backgammon, and I was flabbergasted because I love backgammon. I've been, my obsession with it has been building for some time, and this was just like a dream. This was like a fantasy of mine to just stumble upon a backgammon tournament. So
Right in the
I
park.
hopped, yeah. So I hopped off my bike and I ended up meeting David, the guy
Yeah,
who organized and ran the whole thing. And I didn't play that day because I was, sweaty and had to get home. But I knew then that they do that every Sunday in the park, and shortly after that, I started going in the fall of 22, and I went, I would take a week off here, a week off there, but I went very religiously for, the next year and a half.
that's fantastic. And you said there were like 15, 20 people. I've never seen that many. I've seen up to maybe 10.
Yeah, it was a large group. I don't know if that was because they had just started up or, what was going on that day, but that's partly what caught my eye is there was a lot of people there playing. It was really neat.
That's great when you have a big crowd. It's better.
Mhm.
How did you get into backgammon originally yourself?
So I learned as an adult. I had a good friend of mine from college who also moved out here, and I guess it was 10, 12 years ago now, but he got into it, and he would basically kind of browbeat me and pressure me into coming over to his house to play, so he could get better and he could practice. And that was that. And at the time, he was a buddy of mine, and whatever. I'd bring a six pack over, and we'd have a good time. And I didn't really care that much. I guess it was interesting. But backgammon is kind of a living puzzle. That you're always trying to kind of make the pieces fit in a sense. So it was intriguing enough. But just like most people, I was the type of person who, it took me many days of playing him to wrap my mind around the fact I didn't roll a seven. I rolled a four and a three, like real,
Right, right.
real basic stuff. But, looking back, I mean, he's still a near and dear friend of mine and a hell of a guy. And looking back, um, it was his obsession, which I'm not going to say changed my life, but, put me on this path, and it's enriched me, culturally and artistically, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and socially, of course. And I'm really, of course, very grateful for his tenacity in learning the game.
Yeah, I know you've gotten into it a lot. You've been doing a lot of the different things that we'll be talking about. One of them is collecting boards. So tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I started just this year. So for many years, my wife and I had between the two of us about 4 to 6 boards. We found
Oh,
an old junker at a flea market for $5. She brought home a fantastic vintage board that her grandparents owned, with Bakelite chips and that sort of thing. And
wow.
the first one I ever bought was a little travel set that we've taken, to the beach, and we've taken on our honeymoon and all that. So we had a few lying around, but back in February, she actually wanted a new doubling cube, for her grandparents' board. And I started snooping around the internet, and I found, I'm embarrassed to admit I don't quite remember this gal's name. Is it Carol Joy Cole?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I
She's
found her
fantastic.
in Flint, Michigan, and I got some dice and a doubler from her. But that just flipped a switch in my mind, and I started. Actually, that night I looked on Craigslist, and I found a guy in Santa Monica who was selling 2 boards for $20 a piece. And they're not like breathtaking vintage boards, but they're nice, like cork inlay. Anyway, so I drove down there the next day in a rainstorm, bought these two. I even haggled with the guy. I'm not a haggler, but I got him down to 35 bucks. And he was a dude who had played in the 70s and 80s. So he took care of these boards. Anyway, so that was it. That was my first score. I got 2 boards for 35 bucks. And the combination of, anybody who bargain hunts or does eBay knows the thrill of the find, right? But I liked not only finding this deal, but the fact that it was a deal. I liked the frugality of my approach to collecting. And I liked, going down there and I got to meet this guy in his garage, and that sort of thing. And of course, the boards are in good shape
Right.
and they play well and they look nice and that sort of thing. So anyway, since February, I'm doing, some of the online sites. I'm still looking at Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist occasionally, but I like to find vintage, and I like to, like anybody, I like to get a deal. So, I look for kind of hidden gems or things that some people might pass by because it doesn't look good or whatever. And so now I've got a lot of boards. Now now I have over 30, I think.
Oh, wow. So when you're getting a board, what are you looking for in a board?
Well, aesthetic is big. I you know one thing I can answer you by telling you what I don't like. I
Yeah.
I try to never buy a brown board, because if you're online for 5 minutes, you realize that 90% of the vintage boards out there are like brown on brown boards,
Yeah.
and that's just unappealing to me. So I like different colors. I like vibrant colors.
Yeah.
I prefer, I guess, what's the word? Tapestries. I like a velvet
Oh,
exterior.
yeah.
Leather is fine, but I like a velvet. I like leather points on velvet interior, or on corduroy. I've got some great corduroy boards.
Really?
So I like, cozy, bright boards that are generally kind of big. I'm done buying little travel sets.
Yeah, a lot of people have that. So they
I
have
like
bigger
I
ones.
like the 20 inchers. Obviously, I'll always take a bigger one, a 23 or a 25 incher. But
Yeah.
yeah, I look for attaches and that sort of thing. And brand doesn't matter too much to me. I do have an Aries board that I got recently.
Yes.
I'm always on the hunt for a Pierre Cardin. In fact, embarrassingly, I bought something a month or two ago that I thought was a Pierre Cardin, and it was not. But I'll own that mistake. So yeah, I've scored some real gems. A few of them are, kind of not great. I may try to resell some of the things I've bought, but now I've got like kind of my top 20 list of like keepers that I'm really proud of.
Yeah. Is there a board or two that you've either gotten recently or you like to really play on that you can tell us about?
Well, so I did get a tabletop Chris Lloyd secondhand.
Oh,
It's
nice.
blue. Yeah, I'm really really proud of that pickup. It wasn't exactly cheap, but it's cheaper than buying new. So that's the best feel to play on. It's large. The pieces obviously look cool.
Right.
Um, that's pretty pretty epic. I bust that out for special occasions. But I got two others. Yeah, as far as playing on the boards, like I said, as long as they're kind of big enough,
Yeah.
I don't care. But I like the stories behind the boards. So I have
Right.
one that I call the Blue Bomber. It's blue corduroy with red and white points on the inside. It's about an 18 incher, I think, and I bought it on an auction and all in bidding at the auction, the seller's fee, whatever, the premiums they take at the auction house and shipping. I got this board. This thing is in pristine condition. I got this board for less than $10.
Wow.
So I'm thrilled with the Blue Bomber. And then I got another one that I got recently. The exterior is a little banged up. It's wooden exterior. It's a little chipped, but the inside is almost immaculate. Cork inlay, red and white points. And I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure. And on my Instagram page, I did an unboxing of this board, sight unseen. I had a feeling they were Bakelite pieces, but it was a really small auction house. And, usually on these websites, everybody kind of knows what's what and the bidding starts going up. But I somehow snuck in and got these Bakelite pieces on like a cherry vintage board for like $36. An absolute steal. So those two, the Blue Bomber and the Bakelite set I have are my two proudest accomplishments.
That's great. That's great. For me, when I play, um, I prefer to play on a decent size. When the checkers are too small, it just makes it a little difficult for me. So the ones I have are like 1 3/4 inch checkers, or I even have a 2 inch one that's like kind of oversized. But when it gets like smaller than 1.5, it's a little challenging for me.
Mhm.
Uh, but great, yeah, yeah. I've seen like a lot of the boards that you have on the social media, in person, at the Encino Backgammon Club. And one of the other things that you've been doing, which is actually unique, is you have this quarterly, the Tableaux Esoterica. I have a copy you gave me here. So
Okay.
tell us about what that is and what motivated you to start doing that.
So yeah, Tableaux Esoterica is a subversive, absurdist backgammon quarterly one-sheet zine. I describe it as Mad Magazine meets
Mhm.
Thomas Paine's Common Sense, but
And this
backgammon.
is here. I don't know if you can see it there.
There we go. Yeah, that's our inaugural issue. So it's a work of art. It's a combination of essay, nonfiction memoir, cartoons, illustrations, poetry, satire, comedy. Really any written medium may end up in an issue of Tableaux Esoterica. But as I said, I'm a screenwriter and a writer, and
Ah, yeah.
I'm obsessed with backgammon. And I don't know, I was just struck. by some sort of muse at the beginning of this year, I became kind of fascinated with this old zine culture. You know, these small time independent publications that they were prevalent in a number of subcultures. You know, punk rock music back in the 70s and 80s, and even kind of political counterculture back in the 60s and 70s. And I just kind of became fascinated by that idea. And one thing about Tableaux Esoterica, the ironic thing is, if anyone is interested in subscribing, they can get a hold of me on my Instagram page or digitally. But the issues are sent in the mail, analog. I don't post much online in terms of content because I like that old school feel, that vintage
Right.
vibe of getting something personal to you in the mail. So anyway, I just started writing, and I honestly, I'm a little surprised myself with how much content I'm coming up with. Uh, just when I sit down every couple weeks to bang something out for fun. This year we've got a 4-part, macro essay that is split up into 4 pieces, one for each
Mhm.
issue. That's called Unmitigated Gall, and it's just kind of a treatise on modern backgammon. And we had an article suggesting a rule change to the game, which I'm quite proud of, and some good poetry and that sort of thing.
Interesting. What was the rule change?
Well, I don't want to give too much
You
away,
don't
but
want to give it away. Okay.
it was
I'll have to read
a
it.
gentleman is suggesting introducing a re-roll to backgammon. So
Ah,
once a game, you can either choose to re-roll your own dice, or if your opponent has yet to make a play, you can force them to re-roll whatever they just rolled.
okay. Yeah, I've heard of these variations. There are all sorts of variations like that.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. And yeah, you're quite the literary. I read this. It's very interesting. I definitely recommend it. I'm more of a digital person myself. Nowadays, I get something in the mail and just throw it away. It's like,
I know. Well, that's the thing. Wouldn't you like to get something in the mail that's not like the DMV or a
of
bill?
course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it's like you get a bill and they just throw it in the trash or pay it online or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so good. And also, in addition to that, you've been very active on social media, especially Instagram, and you have the pure backgammon. So let me see if I can pull this up here. There we go. You able to see this now?
There we go. Yeah.
All right. So how long have you been doing this Instagram?
Just under a year. I think September 1st or September 2nd is when I made my first post last year.
So it's almost the 1 year anniversary.
Hmm.
That's great. What motivated you to do this?
So this was kind of a precursor to what the Tableaux Esoterica became. I just wanted an outlet for my fascination with the game, and I realized that, this was kind of the perfect medium, the perfect, way to get things off my mind and to sort of grow the game a little bit. I do like the idea of, being a bit of an educator of sorts. If anybody wants to learn from me, there's the Blue Bomber,
Oh,
right
this is the one.
front
Yeah.
and center. Yeah. Oh, and then there's the chrysaloid. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So this is the blue one. Okay. And
I
then
call this one the Blue Bomber. Yeah.
okay. This is the Chris Lloyd one with your
Yeah,
dog.
there's my dog. Yeah.
Nice. Do you have another image from a different angle?
Of the chrysaloid, I don't even remember. I'd have to we'd have to keep scrolling. I don't think so,
Yeah.
honestly.
Chris Lloyd is nice. They make really nice boards. Okay.
Yeah, they're great people too.
Oh,
I've been
here.
in correspond. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've been in correspondence with them a little bit about various things. So, they're a really well-run company, American made. They're up in Rhode Island.
Right. They're fantastic. Oh, this is a tabletop that does not fold.
Yeah. So
Nice.
this one's not going to leave. This one doesn't go to the coffee shop with me. You know what
Right. This is just like
I
for
mean?
home, which is nice.
Yeah, I think I switched out some of the dice, but yeah,
Is that your baby?
that's my daughter. Yeah,
Oh, you're playing
this
with
is a
her.
yeah new good luck charm.
That's nice. She's still,
we just happened to catch double sixes on the one roll my wife filmed of me.
she brings you good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good. Future backgammon player.
Yeah.
It's great for children. My kids are a little older. I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old, and my 9-year-old plays a little bit, but my daughter, who's 3, she likes to just like roll the dice and move the checkers. That's
Okay. Yeah.
this is the shirt that that you got for her.
Yeah. My buddy Andy from the Encino Club got that for us as a surprise. This is before my daughter was born, but yeah.
Right, yeah, I remember that. That's fantastic. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, I see this stuff all the time, and like I think what's really entertaining are the memes that you do.
Yeah, I meme hard on the weekends. Usually I'm in bed, it's 11:30, it's midnight on a Friday or a Saturday, and I start dropping the memes.
Like this one.
Yeah, this one hurt. I remember this auction. This one really hurt.
That one's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I try. So on a good week, Mondays and Thursdays, I try to post. You see a lot of these just pictures of boards. Those are strategy, sometimes quizzes, sometimes rules, that sort of thing.
Right.
Monday and Thursday are pretty straightforward. Wednesday, I tend to post things about my personal journey with the game, such as these unboxing videos or, just a
Oh
story
yeah.
or something. And then Fridays I
Yeah.
post a lifestyle post. So that would be that thing right
Oh,
there.
this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Is
Uh,
this your house?
oh no, that's downtown. That's a
Uh,
hotel
uh,
lobby downtown. So,
nice.
I got a board in my trunk at all times. So, if I go to the beach, I'll shoot some quick video or I'll take a photo, or if I find myself in a cool venue like this or even just a friend's home. Um, I really like to play up the part of the promotion of the game is just playing up frankly, how classy it is, how cool backgammon is. I mean, this is undeniable. Backgammon is just a cool game. I actually have a board that a friend gave me from the 1970s, and she tells me she used to bring that board to Studio 54 in New
Yeah.
York City
They
and
used to
play
play.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I like, it's a little thing and it's total social media. This is not my home. I'll probably never be in this room ever again, but
You
I
missed your
like,
chance to tell the people that this is your home.
that actually is the Studio 54 board now that I think about it.
Oh, is
But
it? Okay.
yeah. But yeah, I like promoting, the vibe of
What
backgammon.
is this one? You're playing underwater?
This is, I don't know. This is just something I found online. I had to throw something up on a Friday. So
Oh, this is what they were playing at the Merit Open in Cyprus, I believe. And
okay.
Arda was running. He had like it's called wet backgammon. Yeah.
Okay.
So great, great. That's a lot of fun. You've got a lot. People can scroll. I'll put a link to the Instagram in the description here.
Sure.
Um, and then there was also you recently started a YouTube channel.
Very recently. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I'll pull this up here. All right. You able to see that now?
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking on to, I mean, you can see the little description right there, backgammon lifestyle, ambiance, and vibe. Just speaking to that, I wanted to make, I love, they're called ambiance videos, and you could search them on YouTube and you can type in a Harry Potter Hogwarts or a Game of Thrones Winterfell, and it's just a big long loop of music. And for me, it's fantastic to throw on when I'm writing or when I'm reading or something like that. So I wanted to start kind of doing that with backgammon. So one of those videos is called Icarus's Blunder.
Right. I might be actually I could pull this up. Let me pull this up here. You able to see it now?
I can see it, yeah.
Okay, let me turn down the volume so people can still hear it, but we can hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so I have a great friend back in Chicago who loves backgammon as much as I do. In fact, when I was turned on to it by my friend, I then passed it along to my friend David. But he's a very gifted musician, and he wrote this piece of music called Icarus's Blunder. And what he did was he found a match that was transcribed from the 2012 Chicago Tournament of Champions between Moshi and Falafel, I believe. And my friend somehow he used the numbers on the dice to help him orchestrate the chord progression and which notes he was going to use next and that sort of thing, at least to get this musical piece going. So I think it's a fantastic musical piece. It's very Philip Glass in essence. And I filmed here's the crystalloid again. I filmed this, and as this video goes through, I began to put some manipulations and some editing on the visuals. The visuals don't matter unless you just want to watch me play myself in a random game of backgammon, but the music is super duper cool. So I looped the musical piece, added this visual over it. This is a 2-hour backgammon ambiance
Oh wow, look at
video.
that.
Yeah, so there's where it starts to get a little more trippy and psychedelic. Um, and then the only other video that I've posted so far is some beach ambiance. In fact, I mentioned that a few minutes ago. I shot some video up in Malibu very recently, just last week, and it just looks nice. It's Malibu in August, so and that's got no music, but it's got the natural audio of the waves crashing. I forget if that's diegetic or non-diegetic audio. My film school days are long behind me. And then I also threw in some audio of dice rolls and that sort of thing. So this is just something you could throw on in the background if you want to relax, or if you can't get to Malibu, you could, put this on while you're playing backgammon in your living room or that sort of thing.
Yeah. That's great. Let me pause that. That's fantastic. So sounds like in the past couple of years you've really gotten into backgammon more.
Yeah, and I'm a player. I wanna play at top levels. I don't know if I'm there yet. I'm still there's a lot about the doubler that
Yeah.
I need to get a better handle on. I mean, I know what it does, why it's there, but it's difficult for me to quickly make a sound decision. It's you're never making the right decision in backgammon because the game can always change, but it's definitely kind of my weak spot in my game is my cube work. But yeah, like I said, man, I just love the game, dude. It's so cool, and I think we're definitely on an upswing in popularity and sort of in public awareness in the zeitgeist. I'm seeing backgammon pop up in more and more pop culture. Unfortunately, it's a bit insulting, but there's a backgammon sequence in the Hulu Chippendales series. It's actually a backgammon plot point. There's also backgammon in a Zac Efron movie that I just saw a few days ago. There's a backgammon joke in that HBO show Hacks. So it's coming back in the mainstream. And then, of course, we've got these social clubs popping up, which I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of them, that some of them are really exploding and doing really great work. I mean, I got to give a shout out to the New York City Backgammon Club, NYC Backgammon Club, because they're crushing it out there. And I'm just luckily enough, I'm kind of a part of that wave of people who care about backgammon and want to be entertained by it and want to learn more about it.
Yeah, you do a lot. I've spoken with Remy. I did an interview with her. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
And also the things that you do, I have to express my appreciation and gratitude for all the things you do on YouTube, social media. It gets the word out, and people learn about it. And it's great to promote backgammon.
Sure, thanks. I didn't, I've never considered myself an ambassador for the game, because I think the game is so much bigger than me. But yeah, thanks for saying that. It's cool. I guess I am doing my little small part here.
Yeah, everything helps, and people are playing in person, online, trying to add. Like I've been helping with doing some social backgammon uh, at our weekly tournaments. So now we have a place where people can play socially and not just in the tournament, which is nice because we have some other places like the Encino Backgammon Club hasn't been meeting regularly, but now we have this. It's actually in Encino that people can do it. So that's fantastic. It's a pleasure to see all of those people. Hopefully, you'll be able to come one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been able to play live. I guess you play with your wife.
Yeah, so my wife grew up playing.
Yeah,
So when I'm with her, her dad or her sister, we're playing quite a bit.
yeah.
She and I will play casually. It's fun because she was better than me for a while. Then I started reading a couple books and playing more. And then I lapped her big time, but she kept playing me and slowly kind of came up to
Ah.
my level. So yeah, I'm mostly playing against her lately. My daughter was born about 3.5 months ago, and that, I have not been to the gym very much. I have
It's
not
life
been to my
changing.
I have not been to my backgammon dungeons lately. So I might be a little rusty, but I don't know. I'm toying with maybe signing up for the LA, or pardon me, the California State Championships,
Oh yeah.
which are in December. I think I would be best suited um, in the intermediate division.
Yeah, that would be a great one. And I'll
Yeah,
be
but I don't
there.
know. I mean, look, I of course I would love to win that. I'm not assuming I will, but I want to get my money's worth. And like I said, my cube play kind of needs uh to jump to the next level, and I just need to start really. I got to play a lot. I mean, I feel like I got to play a ton in October and November just to really internalize a lot of those moves as far as the checker play is concerned.
Right,
But
right. What you said you read some books. What were the books that you read that you learned from?
the first book I ever picked up was Olson's From Basics to Badass.
That's a great book.
Yeah, and that was good. And, classic me, I get about two-thirds of the way through, and then I get into the section on like cubeful equity, and my brain just melted. So I've never actually finished that one. I have the old Bruce Becker book, Backgammon for Blood.
Yeah,
I found that one that was a thrift store find, by the way. But I got McGrell's book.
yeah.
I have a couple of the Roberty books. I really like his
Oh,
quizzes.
Bill Roberti is fantastic.
Yeah, oh, Roberti, my bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, the 501
yeah,
problem, backgammon for winners, and all those. So I have a few. Oh, and then I actually picked up the original, the backgammon book by Jacoby and Crawford, and
yeah.
yeah, and that was helpful. I mean, after having read Olson first, that was not exactly groundbreaking, but it's nice to see a lot of those, foundational concepts in writing again. That helps me kind of remember things and muscle memory when I'm playing, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that one was published in 1970 before we had all the computers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've read a lot of books. I enjoy that. I feel like you can learn a lot and like you read the books, especially like one of the first ones I read was The Backgammon by Paul McGreal, and just like the concepts are just like I learned really quickly by reading that.
When have you played your whole life?
I started playing when I was a kid. It's like kind of a part of our culture. And then when I was in graduate school in about 2002 or so, there was a backgammon club there when I was there, the Nashville Backgammon Club. So I started playing with them. And that was the first time I started playing with the doubling cube. So I wasn't familiar with it. But I
Oh,
started reading then. And ever since then, I've kind of read more and more. I've read probably dozens of books. I don't know, a lot of them multiple times, and practiced in person and a lot on the computer. A lot on the computer.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that McGrell book is like the Bible, though. That thing
it
is
is.
huge.
It is. It is. Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of fortunately there are a lot of new books that are coming out too. So that's good too.
Yeah.
Someone was asking on social media if there are upcoming books coming out this year. There've been like a few last year, a few this year.
I was gonna ask something or say something. Shucks. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, you know what? I am equal parts lucky and disappointed that I didn't know how to play backgammon in college because speaking of vibe, I lived in this house. It was not quite a frat house, but we had a big chapter room with a stone fireplace and leather couches. Perfect place to just like play backgammon all night, and if I had played backgammon in college, I don't think I would have graduated. I mean, I would have just, I mean, I just love this stuff way too much.
I know. That's how it is. That's how
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a game that people enjoy for their whole life.
Hmm.
Yeah. So good. Looks like we talked about all the things that we had had. Do you have any final comments before we conclude?
Wow. Um, I guess I just, if I could proselytize for a minute or get
Yeah.
up on a soapbox, I'm possibly the only person who doesn't really, like the modern assessment of gameplay with these apps and all these algorithms and that sort of thing. And
There are a lot of
I'll
people
admit,
like that.
I'll admit that probably is a detriment to my overall skill and my dreams of winning, notable tournaments and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to say don't do that or you're not really learning backgammon, but I really do think sitting across the table from another human being,
Mhm.
from another human brain that will make mistakes or will do what you don't expect it to do, that's a very necessary aspect to having a well-rounded backgammon game. So I would just advocate for anybody who is posting all their brain teasers on Reddit or complaining on the Facebook groups about the bug on XG or whatever, try to find a local, group, play with your wife in your free time or start up your own one. Because part of the beauty of backgammon is the social aspect of it. And it teaches, it requires sportsmanship and grace because, Alex, you could outplay me, 36 out of 35 out of 36 rolls. But if I hit those perfect doubles and then you're trapped on the bar, I could smoke you and get away with one. And you got to be able to win, win with class and lose with grace. And you can't do that sitting in front of your keyboard.
Yeah, that's very good advice.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I mean, a lot of people can learn from that. It's great also for children to learn these kinds of things because in life you have the same thing. Sometimes you don't get what you want or you don't win, and you have to learn to live with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, great, fantastic advice. You've been doing a lot with backgammon, so thank you for that. Hope to see you soon. I know
Yeah.
you're busy with your daughter, so that's a lot of work, but maybe she can be a backgammon player later.
She will be. She needs 7 or 8 years, but she will
It
be.
needs some time. Yeah, yeah, it'll take time. I was probably 5 to 10, something like that, when I first started playing.
Okay.
I remember I would watch my family, like we would get together and then the men would play and I'd watch and I'd be curious and I'd want to play and they wouldn't let me play. And like later on, now I've learned and now when I play with them, like I beat them pretty easily. So that's fun. All right. Well, thank you again to my good friend John Druska. We'll go ahead and conclude the video. Thank you to the viewers for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. And with the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.